Welcome to this week's e-News, and today I'm joined by Tracey Wallace, our Service Learning Coordinator, Georgia Browning in Year 6, Eliza Brumby from Year 6, and Sarah Lane, our Teaching and Learning Leader here on Mitcham Campus. The last couple of weeks of term, you have been working on some pretty exciting work. Citizenship, Eliza, what's the project you've been working on?
So we've been working on our active citizen groups, and we all have different things to talk about. Like my group was peace and justice, and we worked on some other stuff, and every group had a different
focus.
Focus.
Fantastic. So all of the Year 6s are in some small groups. Where did you get your focuses from? Something to do with some goals. What were they?
We took a survey up at the senior school that basically talked about what we think are the most important issues or problems going on in the world, and that kind of sorted us into groups based on what we really think is important and what problems we really want to talk about in the world.
And I think that these might have been the Sustainable Development Goals. That's something you're passionate about, isn't it, Mrs. Wallace?
Very passionate about. So the students, as you've heard, are actually aligned to Sustainable Development Goals based on their passions. So they don't get into groups with friends. I mean, we're all friends at Scotch, but they're not grouped on friendships. They're grouped on aligned passions, and I think that's really important. And then the students actually look at need in community, local, global, and then their work, they totally initiate it. We are purely facilitators, aren't we, Miss Lane? So they decide what they want to do, and we'll let the girls unpack some of what they do.
So I'm going to actually start with Eliza now. So what has your group been working on? You did something on Monday. What was that?
So on Monday, we held a ceremony for the International Day of Peace, which was on September the 21st. We held it with some leadership people and the Year 12s. We talked about how peace is needed around the world and how we can help it.
What were a couple of the elements of your ceremony that you had on Monday?
A couple of things that we did during our ceremony, we talked about how peace is built around the world and how grateful we should be to have peace, and we talked about how we were all part of a multicultural community.
Georgia, what's your project been? You're doing something a little bit different this year.
Well, my project was based around supporting people going through homelessness, poverty, and education rights, like having the right to have a good education. And what my group did was, because there were lots of different concepts to this topic, we actually broke off into 3 separate groups, and each group was looking at one separate component of it at a time. And one of them was working on getting a company called Dress to Impress, just for success, and they get clothes, second-hand work clothes, and they give them to people who don't necessarily have the right clothes to go on a job interview. Another group was just really focused on spreading the word, getting everything out. They went around to different classrooms and gave presentations. They stuck up posters, and then my part of the group, we decided to start writing a book, a picture book, on how we can educate younger generations on what poverty and homelessness is.
Absolutely amazing work going on, and whilst the children have been working on their activities, all of our staff mentors have been busy in the background, Mrs. Lane. They've been observing the skills that the kids have been demonstrating, and what are they doing with that information?
So what we're doing is we're part of the Melbourne University New Metrics project. So part of that project is to actually assess the students in different general capabilities, one of which is active citizenship. So each of our group mentors has completed a survey. The students have also completed their own personal surveys around active citizenship. Our staff surveys will be coming together with, there's other areas that we're looking at as well. The best thing though is the students have done a survey according to their perceptions of their self as an active citizenship. So there was a pre-survey that we did, and we've just completed the post-survey, and so we'll be unpacking that with students too.
One last very quick question. What was the best skill you think you learned during this process, Georgia?
Probably just how big of a difference you can make, and that hard work does pay off, building all these skills with collaborating with others, and that our book isn't actually finished yet, it's a work in progress, but that we can still keep making a difference even after this project.
So we look forward to sharing more of the project outcomes because there have been lots of different things going on during the term. But thank you to everyone for chatting today about what we're doing in terms of active citizenship and how we're measuring our progress with those skills.